My beloved, my chosen one. Why do your hands tremble right now? Because deep inside your soul already knows, this is not a coincidence. It is God's way of pulling you here, in this exact second. Archangel Michael says, stop. You will lose God if you don't listen right now. You have only 10 seconds to open this message fully. Time is running faster than your heartbeat. And heaven has pressed this moment into your path. You were not supposed to scroll past this, but here you are. Do you realize what that means? It means heaven has paused time for you. Right now, eternity has bent itself around your life. You are not here by accident. You have been summoned. For weeks heaven has been whispering your name, but the noise of the world made it hard to hear. And now God has decided to interrupt your routine, to step right into your timeline and say, enough. No more delay. You have cried silently, wondering if anyone noticed the tears you wiped away in the dark. But every tear was counted. Every sigh was recorded. God says, I was there when your hope cracked, when you tried to smile though your heart was breaking. I never left. Archangel Michael stands now beside you, his sword drawn, cutting through the fog of confusion that has surrounded your destiny. Beloved, the time has come. The moment your heart has been aching for is unfolding right here. You've been asking God, give me a sign. This is it. Heaven is not whispering anymore, it's roaring. Michael says, stay. Every second you remain, a chain breaks. Every word you hear draws you closer to what's been waiting for you. This is why your spirit feels heavy lately, not because you're weak, but because your breakthrough has been pressing against the gates of heaven, waiting for permission to burst through. And that permission has just been given. God says, tell my child the waiting season is ending. The attacks that came against you weren't random. They were last attempts from the enemy to make you give up, right before the miracle appeared. You almost walked away, but heaven refused to let you fall. That's why this message found you now, at the exact second your strength was about to run out. Imagine this moment like standing at the edge of a great river. Behind you is everything that tried to drown you, fear, rejection, betrayal. But ahead of you flows a current so strong, so alive with God's light, that if you take one step forward, it will carry you into a completely new season. Archangel Michael says, don't look back. Don't question it. Step now, because heaven is waiting on your yes. Your yes is not a sound, it's a decision. It's the choice to stay present, to believe again, to let your heart soften, even when it's tired of hoping. Every second you keep listening, you're telling heaven, I'm still here. I still believe. And that faith, even small as a whisper, moves mountains you can't yet see. Child of God, there is a divine scroll being unrolled in the invisible. Upon it are written doors you never thought could open, relationships that will heal, opportunities that will suddenly appear. But heaven cannot release it until your heart says yes. Not later. Not when things feel easier. Now. Because the timing of this message is sacred. You are standing between two paths, one that leads to delay and one that leads to destiny. To the left lies the comfort of staying the same. To the right lies the fire that transforms you completely. God will not force you, but He pleads with you. Choose life. Choose me. Choose now. Michael says, the enemy will try to distract you, to make you scroll, to make you think this is just another video. It is not. This is heaven's appointment. The trembling you feel in your chest is your spirit recognizing divine truth. Don't silence it. Don't doubt it. You have been chosen to receive what many prayed for and missed. God saw how close you were to giving up, and He refused to let you go. He is restoring the years that were lost, the dreams that were buried, the strength that faded. He's breathing into your dry bones and saying, rise. You are not finished yet. Every promise He spoke still stands. Every delay was preparing you for this release. So listen carefully now, the shift begins when you believe it's already yours. Heaven moves the instant you decide you're ready. Don't measure your faith by feelings, measure it by your decision to trust, even when you can't see. Because your yes today will echo in eternity. And as you stand here reading with trembling hands, the angels begin to move. Chains you didn't even know you carried are breaking. Invisible doors are unlocking. The peace you've been begging for is settling into your soul. This is your confirmation. The old season is closing. A new one begins right now. My dear child, if this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share your faith by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. If you feel inspired to support this mission of spreading love and light, you can contributing $50 to $100 through Super Thanks to help spread this message to even more people. Remember, every act of generosity, no matter the amount, is deeply valued and appreciated. Stay with me. Heaven is watching. Every second you remain here is faith in motion. And that faith, your faith, is about to unlock the impossible. The scroll is opening. The light is coming. And the story of your life is being rewritten in gold. It was heaven holding you by a thread, my beloved. And now that thread has become a bridge. What once felt fragile is now the path to your breakthrough. God says, you thought you were barely surviving, but I was secretly preparing you to soar. The winds that once tried to knock you down will now lift you higher. The same storms that brought fear will become the push that propels you into purpose. You see, everything that hurt you had a hidden instruction in it. Every tear watered the ground for your next harvest. Every betrayal removed a hand that could not go where you're headed. Do not despise what left you, because heaven had to make room for what is arriving. There is a rhythm to divine timing, and right now heaven's clock is striking your hour. Archangel Michael says, look up, chosen one. The waiting has expired. What was withheld is now being released. I see golden seals breaking open in the spiritual realm, old promises shaking free of dust, ancient prayers rising like smoke before the throne. Heaven is in motion. The answers you stopped believing for are finding your name again. Beloved, can you feel the air changing around you? That's not imagination. That's the atmosphere of breakthrough. Heaven is leaning close. Angels are taking position. Your life is about to echo with divine movement. For too long your story has felt like silence, but this silence was not empty, it was incubation. Like a seed buried deep, unseen yet alive, you were growing in the dark. And now light has found you. The Lord says, I am not giving you back what you lost, I am giving you what you would have missed if you never lost it. That's why the process was painful, because He wasn't replacing things, He was upgrading your destiny. Those closed doors were not rejection, they were redirection. Every no you faced was heaven's way of saying, I have something better, something lasting, something holy. Child, you have to understand this, you are stepping into days of divine reversal. Where there was lack there will be abundance. Where there was confusion there will be peace. Where there was fear, faith will rise unshakable. And this time it won't fade. Because what God is establishing in you is eternal. The enemy tried to bury you, but he did not realize you were a seed. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his sword blazing with light. He declares, every chain that tried to hold them breaks now. Every curse that tried to cling to them dissolves in the fire of truth. And as he speaks, the atmosphere thickens with power. Your spirit begins to rise. You feel that warmth again in your chest, that's not emotion, that's confirmation. Heaven is affirming that this word is for you. Beloved, pause for a moment and breathe. Feel how your heart beats differently now. That's the rhythm of alignment. For the first time in a long while, you are walking in step with heaven. Don't let distraction pull you away now. Stay here. Because every word that enters your spirit right now is unlocking the next chapter of your life. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right on time. Heaven has been synchronizing your steps to meet this very hour. And I see it clearly, an ancient gate opening before you, light pouring through its cracks. Behind that gate is what you have been waiting for, the release, the restoration, the recognition of who you truly are. The world saw failure, but heaven saw foundation. God says, I have seen your private pain, and I have written it into a public testimony. Every moment of your endurance has been recorded in heaven's book. Not one tear wasted. Not one prayer unheard. The time of hiddenness is ending, and your name is about to echo in places you never imagined. People who overlooked you will soon have to witness what favor looks like when heaven decides it's your turn. And I tell you this, child, what is coming will not require you to chase. It will come to you, because you stayed faithful when quitting looked easier. The reward for your obedience is movement. The reward for your patience is power. You will not need to prove yourself, the fruit will speak for you. Archangel Michael says, you have passed the test of endurance. Now step into the reward of revelation. You will begin to see things clearly, people's intentions, divine connections, and the path forward. The fog is lifting. The confusion that followed you is leaving. And clarity will walk beside you like an old friend. Stay in this moment. Don't rush. Don't scroll. Every second you remain under this word, you are receiving more than you realize. Heaven is pouring strength into you. Hope is being reborn. And peace, real peace, is anchoring in your heart. Your turnaround has begun. Not next month. Not next year. Now. You will soon look back and realize that the breaking point was really the birthing point. God was not punishing you, He was preparing you for the platform of purpose. The light you carry after this season will draw others out of their darkness. You will be a living testimony that delay is not denial, and that divine timing never fails. The same people who doubted you will marvel at how quickly God turned your ashes into beauty. My dear child, if this message has touched your heart, I invite you to share your faith by liking this video, and subscribing to the channel. Remember, every word that reaches another soul becomes a ripple of light that returns to you multiplied. Stay tuned, because heaven has only just begun with you. The next chapter will be written in joy, and you will not walk it alone. And now, beloved, listen carefully. Because what is about to unfold will feel like waking up from a long, heavy dream. You will suddenly notice how everything that once weighed you down starts losing its grip. The confusion that clouded your mind will begin to fade, like mist under morning light. The same hands that once trembled in fear will soon lift in victory. God says, I am not just changing your story, I am changing how you see yourself in it. There is a shift happening inside you, quiet but powerful. What once looked like delay was God building your roots deeper. You could not bloom earlier because the soil had to be prepared. Every not yet was heaven making room for something bigger than your plans. You thought you were being held back, but really you were being held safe. Archangel Michael says, the protection you mistook for rejection was divine timing wrapping its wings around you. Think of all the doors that closed on you, the people who walked away, the moments that broke your heart. None of it was random. Each one was part of a precise design, a pruning that hurt, but was necessary to shape the vessel that could hold what is coming. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being aligned. And when this next chapter begins, you will see why it had to be this way. You might not realize it, but heaven has already declared movement in your favor. Things that were locked for years are trembling under the power of divine command. The deals that never worked, the relationships that fell apart, the opportunities that slipped away. They are circling back, this time wrapped in peace. Because what returns in God's timing doesn't come with struggle, it comes with clarity. And here is what's breathtaking, heaven is not only restoring what was lost, but multiplying it. The same areas where you were shamed will now become your testimony. The same places where you were mocked will echo with applause. Archangel Michael says, every tear you sowed in silence will bloom in public joy. Heaven is not in the business of partial blessings. When restoration comes, it comes complete. Do you feel that stirring in your spirit, that sudden warmth rising from within? That is not emotion, that is activation. The moment you hear these words and allow them to settle inside you, the supernatural begins to move. God says, I am breathing on the ashes, and they will catch fire again. Dreams you buried, prayers you stopped praying, they are being revived. The wind of heaven is moving through your life right now, brushing off the dust of delay, and calling every lifeless thing to stand again. Look closely at your life, my beloved. Signs are already appearing. Unexpected messages, strange coincidences, doors opening without effort, people entering your path with divine purpose. None of it is random. You are walking through the bridge between prophecy and manifestation. You are not waiting for the miracle anymore, the miracle is waiting for you to recognize it. But here lies the choice: will you believe it, or doubt it? Heaven cannot force faith. You must choose it, even when it makes no sense. You must hold it, even when everything around you screams otherwise. Because the moment you decide to believe again, heaven releases acceleration. Archangel Michael says, "One act of faith can do what 10 years of effort could not." And maybe you're asking, but what if I'm too broken, what if I've made too many mistakes? Hear this: nothing you've done disqualifies you. In fact, your cracks are what let the light out. God does not need perfection to move, He needs permission. When you surrender your pain, He turns it into purpose. The same storm that tried to drown you will now carry your ship to destiny. Remember those nights you thought no one saw you cry. Heaven did. Every sob was counted, every sigh was recorded. Those moments weren't wasted, they were sacred transactions in the unseen. God says, "I have turned your tears into ink, and I am rewriting your story with them." The pain that nearly broke you is now becoming the very proof that you were chosen for more. And right now as you listen, the atmosphere around you is changing. It's as if light is entering a room that's been dark for years. That heaviness on your chest is lifting. The fear that whispered you were finished is silenced. The same God who called the stars by name is now calling yours. He is not distant, He is here. You can almost feel the air vibrating with His presence. Archangel Michael says, "When you finish hearing this, signs will follow. Expect it. A call, a message, a confirmation so specific it will make you tremble. It will be heaven's way of saying, yes, this was for you." Because when God decides it is your time, nothing and no one can stand in the way. Not the enemy, not your past, not even your own doubt. Beloved, I see the chains that once defined you falling piece by piece. I see doors swinging wide, light flooding in, and a version of you rising that even you won't recognize. You will walk differently, speak differently. Even the way people look at you will change, because heaven's glory will mark you. This is not motivation, this is declaration. It has already begun. So hold still. Let heaven finish what it started. Don't rush, don't question. Just receive. Because what's coming next is not survival, it's overflow. Not just peace, but authority. You are stepping into a life that reflects divine promise, not human limitation. And when it happens, the same people who once doubted you will say, "Surely the hand of God was upon this one." And as you receive this word, I ask you, if this spoke to your spirit, if something inside you awakened, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe so this message reaches the ones who are about to give up. You never know whose miracle is waiting on your obedience. Stay connected because the next word heaven releases might just be the one that seals your breakthrough. At last the waiting ends. Heaven's pen moves again, and your name glows brighter upon that sacred page. The story that once paused is writing itself anew, and even now the sound of destiny turning echoes through the unseen. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit does. That subtle trembling inside you, that's the vibration of your chapter unfolding, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. God says, "Beloved, you have endured enough shadow. You have cried enough tears to water a garden of miracles. Now watch what I make bloom. The very pain that once tried to bury you will become the soil that births your joy. The hands that broke you will not be the ones to heal you, I will. The places that rejected you will one day watch you rise higher than their reach." Archangel Michael says, "This moment is the threshold. Do not look back. You have spent years carrying the weight of things you were never meant to bear. Guilt, shame, fear, they were parasites feeding on your light. But now heaven is peeling them off one by one. Can you feel that lightness? It's not imagination, it's release, it's freedom breaking open like dawn after the longest night. Pause here, beloved. Let yourself feel it. The air is different now. The energy around you is thicker with promise. You are standing in what heaven calls the turning. It's the moment when everything that worked against you begins to work for you. Every no you receive becomes the foundation for a better yes. Every delay becomes divine choreography. Every betrayal becomes the doorway to clarity. God says, "I have not been punishing you, I've been preparing you. You thought I was silent, but I was sculpting you in the quiet. The breaking shaped your backbone, the loss refined your sight. You don't see it yet, but heaven sees a warrior standing where a wounded soul once fell." Michael leans close now, his voice like thunder wrapped in mercy saying, "Do not doubt what you feel. This is real. The shift is real. In the spirit, I see your name glowing across the heavens like lightning riding on clouds. The angels are moving fast, relentless, aligning the pieces that once refused to fit. Phone calls you never expected, opportunities you thought were lost, people who owe you peace and apology. All of them are being positioned right now. Beloved, your tears have built a bridge between despair and destiny. You may have thought heaven ignored your prayers, but not a single cry vanished. Every word was caught, held, and woven into the miracle that's now descending. That's why this moment feels electric. Because heaven isn't waiting anymore, it's landing. Do you feel it in your chest, that pull like gravity reversed? That's your spirit rising into alignment. You're not the same person who begged for change years ago. You've matured, endured, transformed. Now the blessing that once would have crushed you will finally fit in your hands. God says, "What I am releasing now cannot be taken away. What I am giving you cannot be corrupted. What I am opening will never close again." And as he speaks, the atmosphere around you thickens with the hum of angels' wings, overlapping light, expanding power, multiplying. The heavens themselves are standing at attention. Michael raises his sword, not in battle this time, but in celebration. He declares, "The war for this soul is over. Every demonic delay that clung to your timeline has been struck off. Every chain labeled never has been shattered. The enemy has no access, no voice, no claim left. You are stepping into divine ownership. You are not walking into your promise is running toward you. Pause again, my beloved. Take a deep breath. You've been running for so long that peace may feel unfamiliar. But this quiet strength blooming in your chest is heaven's assurance. You are safe now, you are held now, you are seen now. You are not at the end of the story, you are at the awakening of your purpose. The same God who hid you in seasons of obscurity is now revealing you to the world. The same angels who fought in silence are now announcing your victory. You are not forgotten, you are being unveiled. Archangel Michael says, "Tell them to lift their eyes, tell them to watch for sudden signs, numbers repeating, doors opening without effort, faces from the past returning with new hearts. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is marking your path with undeniable signs that the shift has already begun." God says, "The next thing that happens will not be small, it will not be gradual, it will be sudden. And when it comes you will not question whether it's divine, you will know. Because peace will wrap around you like sunlight after rain, because everything inside you will whisper, finally. Beloved, your delay has expired, the waiting has reached its end. The scroll has been opened and the ink of your new chapter is still warm. Don't let fear make you look back, don't let doubt mute your praise, walk forward with the authority of one who has seen heaven move. And before this moment closes, I must tell you this, share this message. Someone you love needs to hear it, someone whose hope is slipping needs to be reminded that their page is about to turn too. Let your voice carry what heaven has poured into you, because when you release it your blessing doubles. So if you feel this word burning in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself, like this message, share it and subscribe to stay under this anointing. For what heaven begins in you today will ripple far beyond your life, it will heal, restore, and awaken countless others through you. This is your turning point, the angels have declared it, heaven has sealed it. And now the earth will soon witness it. Beloved, He makes beauty from ashes, not by erasing what was burned, but by breathing life into what seemed lost. Every moment that broke you was secretly shaping the soil of your destiny. You thought the fire destroyed you, but it purified you. The pain you feared was punishment was actually preparation. Heaven has been refining your soul for this unveiling. Look around you, the same flames that once consumed your peace are now lighting your path forward. What once felt like the end was actually the beginning of your becoming. And here is what the enemy never wanted you to discover: your wounds were not proof of weakness, they were proof of your survival. Every scar is a doorway through which light now shines. You didn't just endure the darkness, you mastered it. The very pain that tried to bury you has now become the proof that you cannot be buried. You were never meant to stay in the ashes, you were meant to rise out of them, radiant, unrecognizable, reborn. Heaven is whispering, this is the unveiling of the unbreakable. Do you feel that pull in your chest, that trembling in your spirit? That is not fear, that is awakening. The divine is calling your name in a language only your soul understands. You've waited for signs, confirmations, open doors. But the truth is you were the sign heaven was waiting to release. The gates have not just opened before you, they've opened within you. You carry the key now, the moment you decide to believe again, everything locked against you begins to shift in your favor. Michael stands at the threshold, his wings burning with light, his voice shaking the atmosphere. He says, "Child of God, the delay is over, the waiting has expired. What you have prayed for is not coming, it has already arrived. You may not see it yet, but heaven is already celebrating what is unfolding. Angels are aligning the details, unseen forces are moving mountains that you thought were immovable. What looked impossible yesterday is already bowing to divine command today." Beloved, do not mistake stillness for silence. Just because you don't hear the sound of movement doesn't mean heaven is quiet. Seeds grow in silence before they break the ground. You are standing in that holy stillness now, the stillness before the bloom, the hush before the shout. The delay you cursed was actually divine timing perfecting your promise. Heaven was never late, it was waiting for you to be ready to carry what is coming. And now I see in the Spirit your name being written in golden script across the pages of destiny. The ink glows like liquid fire, and as each letter forms, the heavens tremble. This is not just a moment, it is a marking. You are being sealed for the next season of your purpose. What once was hidden will now be revealed, what once was overlooked will now be exalted. Your name is echoing through realms, and doors that were closed for years are unlocking one by one. But listen closely, this moment is not for the faint-hearted. The same light that blesses also exposes, that is why you feel the shaking around you. God is not punishing you, He is positioning you. He is removing what cannot walk with you into the promise. Every sudden ending, every unexpected shift, every separation that made you cry, it was heaven's hand clearing your path. You thought you were losing people, but you were gaining clarity. You thought you were breaking, but you were being reborn. The Spirit says, "Tell them this is not survival season, this is resurrection season." The strength you feel returning, the peace that has no explanation, the quiet confidence that says, something good is near, it's all evidence that the stone has been rolled away. You are no longer trapped in the tomb of who you used to be, the grave clothes are falling off. The version of you that doubted, feared, and questioned, that version is gone. What stands now is the healed, chosen, radiant you that heaven always saw. And as you step forward, you will notice something miraculous. Favor will find you without striving, opportunities will locate you without chasing. What once drained you will now delight you. This is not coincidence, this is alignment. When heaven says now, resistance collapses. When heaven says rise, even the earth must agree. You are stepping into a divine rhythm where things that used to take years will happen in days. Acceleration has begun, and it will not stop until you are standing in the fullness of your promise. Beloved, remember this, you were not overlooked, you were preserved. You were not forgotten, you were hidden for divine timing. Every not yet you heard was heaven's way of saying, I'm building something bigger. And now as you stand on this sacred edge between what was and what will be, you can feel the wind shifting. That pressure in your chest is not anxiety, it's elevation. The heavens are expanding around you because your destiny is expanding within you. Michael lifts his sword one final time, and with a voice that shakes both realms he declares, "The time of sorrow is finished. The time of restoration has come. Step forward, child of light, your story begins anew." The skies above you blaze with color, you feel the weight lift, the chains fall, the light return. What was written against you is rewritten in your favor, what was meant to destroy you has become the foundation beneath your feet. The story that once felt like tragedy now reads like prophecy fulfilled. So stay here in this sacred stillness, breathe it in. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for, the long night is over and the dawn has come. You are not who you were when this began, you have become the testimony the world needs to see. This is your hour, this is your gate. And heaven is still whispering, enter now beloved, for the garden has been waiting for you all along. Beloved, Michael says. Tell them the miracle is not tomorrow, it is now. You are standing in the hour of divine release. The sound you feel rumbling inside your chest is not anxiety, it is the vibration of heaven's gates swinging wide open. What once resisted you is now surrendering, what once delayed you is now clearing the path. Heaven's timing and your readiness have finally met, can you sense it? The air feels different, alive, charged with presence. The same spirit that raised the dead is breathing upon your life this very moment. Pause and let that sink in. Everything you thought was lost has only been waiting for this alignment. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. God was not holding it back to hurt you but to strengthen your hands to hold it. You were not being denied, you were being developed. And now as heaven moves, nothing can stay in its old place, the story is shifting, the atmosphere is rewriting itself around your yes. God says, I am restoring the years you thought were wasted. Every tear that watered the ground of your pain has become seed for your harvest. Every betrayal that broke your heart carved room for deeper compassion. Every loss you endured became the soil for wisdom you will soon pour into others. You are not walking into random blessings, you are walking into the harvest of every season you survived. Beloved, this is why the enemy fought you so fiercely. He saw what heaven hid inside you, he knew the moment you stopped seeing yourself as a victim his control would end. That's why he attacked your confidence, twisted your perception, made you question your worth. But what he failed to see is that pressure only refined you. You did not shatter, you sharpened. You did not drown, you learned to walk on water. And now the same waters that tried to consume you will carry you to your promise. Michael says, the time of hiding is over, the oil that was poured in secret is now shining in public. Heaven is positioning you where your voice, your presence, and your story will carry weight. The platform may not look like what you imagined, but it will be exactly where you are needed. For years heaven has been crafting the right people, timing and opportunities to converge, and now they are arriving. Stay humble, stay ready, stay yielded. There's a reason your heart feels a holy trembling. You are not only receiving, you are becoming. God is not just changing your surroundings, He is transforming your identity. You are stepping from survivor to ruler, from overlooked to chosen, from carrying pain to carrying purpose. The very fire that once tried to destroy you has become the anointing that empowers you. That's why this moment feels so alive. Heaven is clothing you in authority you didn't know was yours. Beloved, listen closely, acceleration will not just happen around you, it will happen through you. Things you once struggled to understand will suddenly make sense, decisions you feared to make will become clear, doors that were locked will swing open without your knocking. You will not need to chase what God has assigned, it will find you. For heaven's word is already written in your path and your obedience activates it. Do you see now why you couldn't quit, why every attempt to walk away felt like something was pulling you back? That was destiny's rope keeping you tethered to promise. Even when your mind said I'm done, your spirit whispered not yet. Because heaven refused to let you settle for less than what was written. You have been pursued by purpose itself. Michael stands beside you now, his sword ablaze cutting every invisible rope that kept you bound to your past. Step forward, he says, the way is clear. And as you do, you'll notice how the heaviness begins to fall away. Shame loses its grip, regret melts into gratitude, fear turns into faith. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, freedom cannot be resisted. God says, tell them I am not only healing their wounds, I am making those wounds into wells. Out of what hurt, will flow wisdom, empathy, and strength that will feed many. The same area where you were once attacked will become the area you now carry authority. The pain was the birthplace of power. The wilderness you walked through was not wasted, it was training for the miracles you'll carry next. Beloved, I see in the Spirit rivers flowing from your life. One flows to restore families. Another flows to awaken forgotten dreams. Another carries provision where there was lack. You have become a conduit of heaven's flow. That's why this moment cannot be missed. You are not only standing in breakthrough, you are becoming the vessel through which breakthrough flows to others. So hear me, do not go back to small thinking. Do not shrink yourself to fit old spaces. The you who survived the valley cannot live in the same rooms built for your brokenness. Heaven has expanded your spirit. You are being invited to dream again, to build again, to believe again. And yes, fear will try to whisper that it's too much, too late, too impossible. But remember, it was never you alone. Heaven has always been your partner. Michael says, tell them the gate is still open, but it will not stay open forever. This is the moment to move, to decide, to act. Destiny does not wait for hesitation. Heaven is ready to pour, but your yes must be full. Don't stand at the edge of answered prayer afraid to step in. This is your Red Sea parting moment, step forward, the waters will hold. And beloved, as you do, watch how everything shifts. People will notice something different about you, peace where there was anxiety, confidence where there was fear, clarity where there was confusion. That's what happens when heaven rests upon a life. You will speak and rooms will change. You will walk and doors will open. Because the same Spirit that hovered over creation now hovers over you. So stay in this flow, stay in this word. Don't rush past it, every line is still working in your favor, still unlocking new realms of grace. The more you linger, the more heaven aligns. The story is still being written, not by your effort but by your surrender. God says, you have waited long enough, now watch me do what only I can do. The light is breaking through. The oil is still pouring. And the chapter heaven has waited to release is now unfolding through you. Beloved, that confirmation you've been seeking, it's happening now. That stirring you feel deep in your chest is not imagination, it's recognition. Your spirit is finally catching up with what heaven already decreed about you. Every moment you thought was wasted was actually divine rehearsal. Every delay was a setup for precision. And now as you stand here reading, heaven is calling your name, not as a whisper but as a declaration. Michael stands beside you and says, "You are entering fulfillment. The waiting season has expired. The weeping season has been recorded and joy has been released as your next chapter's opening line." Pause and feel that wind shift around you. It's not just a breeze, it's movement in the unseen. What you are sensing is heaven rearranging the atmosphere to make room for your arrival. Doors are unlocking quietly while you read these words. Situations that refuse to move are suddenly softening. The same places that rejected you will now recognize you. Because when heaven changes your name, even the earth responds. You are no longer known by your pain but by your promise. Beloved, do you realize what that means? It means the version of you that survived is not the same one stepping forward. The timid voice is gone. The fear of failing again is dissolving. Heaven is not waiting for perfection, heaven is moving through willingness. And your willingness to stay, to keep reading is a signal to the angels that you are ready. That's why the air feels charged, why tears come without reason, why your spirit trembles with recognition. Because this is divine timing unfolding in real time. Michael says, "Tell them the crown is being fitted. Not a crown of vanity but of victory. You've walked through battles that could have ended you but they forged something eternal inside you. Every scar is a signature of survival. Every tear was counted as currency. And now heaven is cashing it in. The same God who watched you crawl is now preparing you to soar. What once made you question your worth will now be your evidence of power. But listen closely, beloved, with every rising comes testing. As your light grows, so does the attention of shadows. Do not mistake opposition for failure, it is confirmation. The pressure you feel before the promise is heaven's way of sealing your strength. That's why discernment is your armor now. Not every voice that praises you will protect you. Not every friend who claps is for your climb. Michael's sword will slice through the counterfeit so you can walk with clarity. Let heaven separate what you've been too kind to confront. I see in the spirit a mirror forming before you. At first it shows the same tired reflection you've known. But then the light shifts and you begin to see who you truly are, royal, radiant, redeemed. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to blaze. Heaven hid you not to punish you but to preserve you until the right moment. That moment is now. The curtain is lifting. The silence that once hurt you is becoming your stage. Beloved, think of this, every no that broke your heart was actually heaven's protection. Every closed door was rerouting you to alignment. You cried over exits that were saving your destiny. Now as you stand at this threshold, heaven is whispering, walk. Don't run in fear, don't look back in guilt, just walk. Because with every step you take, the ground is shifting in your favor. The future is not waiting at a distance, it's unfolding beneath your feet. Michael declares, acceleration is active. What would have taken years will now take months. Where you sowed in tears you will now reap in joy. Even the things you forgot to pray for are being answered. Heaven remembers what your heart couldn't express. And those who doubted your restoration will have no choice but to witness it. Not out of revenge but revelation. They will see that the God who called you never canceled you. And yet the greatest miracle is not the blessing, it's the transformation. You are no longer the same soul who began this journey trembling and uncertain. You are rising with wisdom carved from wilderness. Your faith is no longer fragile, it's fierce. The storms that once terrified you now recognize your authority. When you speak, the atmosphere listens. When you move, darkness retreats. This is what being chosen truly means, becoming a living testimony of unbreakable grace. So hear me, beloved, heaven is not waiting for tomorrow. It is moving now. The shift is not coming, it has come. The clock of heaven has struck your appointed hour. What was delayed is no longer detained. What was buried is now breathing. And as Michael raises his hand, a decree goes forth, let it be fulfilled. You have waited long enough, fought long enough, believed long enough. Now watch as everything promised begins to unfold before your very eyes. Because the truth is, your story was never about endurance alone. It was about revelation. God was revealing not just His power but your purpose. And now that you see it, there's no going back. You are marked, chosen, unstoppable. Heaven's handwriting is on your life and no force can erase it. Keep your eyes lifted, your heart open, and your spirit steady. What you're stepping into now is not just restoration, it's reignition. The kind of glory that rewrites legacies and turns survivors into carriers of divine fire. Beloved, the heavens are roaring over you right now. The moment you believe this truth, everything that has been locked away begins to stir. The blessings that were waiting behind closed doors are now aligning to find you. The angels have risen from their stillness. They are moving at the command of your faith. Michael stands with his sword raised high, declaring, the delay is over. What was written for them cannot be undone. Do you feel that sudden rise of strength? That rush that feels like wind in your chest? It is the breath of heaven filling you again. You are no longer walking as the wounded one, you are rising as the chosen one. And hear this, the throne you were afraid to sit upon was never meant for another. You were always the one written in its decree. The storms of your past were not signs of abandonment, they were the training ground for your authority. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every heartbreak carved compassion into your spirit. Every disappointment strengthened your ability to rule with humility. You are not stepping into power out of pride but out of purpose. Heaven can trust you now because you have learned through pain what glory really costs. Michael says, tell them the battle is not returning, it is retreating. The shadows that once mocked you are now trembling. The same places where you cried will soon echo with laughter. The very people who doubted you will watch the promise unfold before their eyes. Do not fear their opinions. Your validation is not in their applause but in heaven's affirmation. God says, when I call someone chosen, no voice on earth can overrule it. So lift your head, beloved. You are not waiting for permission, you are stepping into destiny. Pause for a moment and breathe. Feel the quiet power rising in your spirit. This silence is not emptiness, it is the sound of divine completion. Heaven has already spoken your name into the wind. The path you feared is now glowing with light. Every step you take from here is guided, protected, and multiplied. The days of uncertainty are closing and a new rhythm of confidence is awakening in you. Even your body will begin to feel lighter because what once burdened you spiritually can no longer stay attached. And here lies the mystery: your miracle is not a single moment, it is a movement. It will unfold in waves. As you obey the small nudges, greater doors will open. As you honor the quiet whispers, louder confirmations will come. You will not chase what's yours anymore, what's yours will find you. Divine alignment means you will simply be at the right place at the right time, doing what you were born to do. Michael says, "Tell them heaven is echoing with their name." Angels are carrying your blueprint to every corner of creation. Connections you never imagined are forming. People who carry keys to your next chapter are being awakened right now. Nothing about your journey is random. Every detour was design, every delay was divine timing, every loss was an exchange for something greater. So as you stand here trembling under the weight of this revelation, know this: you are the prophecy fulfilled. You are the continuation of promises spoken long before you were born. You are heaven's answer wrapped in human form. And now God says, "Go forward without fear, for I go before you." The chapter you step into next will not repeat the pain of the last. It will reveal why the pain had to exist at all. Beloved, your story is not just turning, it is transcending. The ashes are becoming crowns and your survival is becoming a song. This is your moment to rise, not as a survivor of the storm but as the reason the storm had to break. Keep your eyes open, keep your spirit ready. Because the evidence of what's been promised is already moving toward you, and it will not miss you this time.